And welcome to the CTM NewsBreak, where we keep you up to date on what's happening right here in town. I'm Diane Sherritt-Steimel. Emergency responders in Chelmsford took advantage of the time students and staff were away during school vacation week to conduct emergency exercise drills at the Parker Middle School.
We tried to make it as realistic as possible, so they did activate fire alarms. We used simunition type training materials that simulate discharging of firearms to give you the effect, the sound, the smell, the smoke, and you have to work through that.
Volunteers also helped with the exercise.
We had a lot of live victims, which is good because it added to the whole thing. It kind of really helped in creating that stress, having live actors that we wouldn't have been able to do if we had just used mannequins.
Our goals for doing this training was really to enhance the collaboration and cooperation between all first responders in town, really. So what we focused on was our response to an active ongoing threat. So law enforcement arrives, tries to determine a location and neutralize the threat, while simultaneously the fire department and ambulance personnel move in to provide rescue services.
One of our concerns was how well the officers and the firefighters and the paramedics and other emergency responders would communicate and work together. And for the most part, that went really well.
It's a much more fluid, overlapping delivery of services from fire and police and ambulance almost at the same time. And our plan is to keep doing this, at least annually, hopefully really semi-annually.
Some helpful neighbors spent their Earth Day in a very appropriate way. They planted trees at Sunny Meadow Farm.
We planted 600 sugar maple tree saplings. We had about probably 25 volunteers. Our neighbors and friends and residents of Chelmsford come down and help us out. The holes were all pre-dug, and that really made the work go very fast. So we got most of the trees planted yesterday, and then the remaining ones we got in the ground today, and we cleaned up the field a little bit. And next thing is we'll be watering the trees and watching them grow. So these trees here, they're going to grow for probably about 3 to 4 years, and then they'll be ready to harvest maple sap out of the trees and make maple syrup.
They've been making maple syrup in town for the past 5 years. And other news, the Chelmsford Board of Health welcomes all to participate in walks on the Bruce Freeman Rail Trail. They're held the first and third Friday of each month through November. If you're interested, you can just show up at the Route 110 ball field on the Bruce Freeman Rail Trail at 8:30 a.m. No registration is required. You can just go out there and get a little company as you go on your walks. For more information, you can contact Public Health Nurse Carrie Sorrentino at 978-250-5241. The Merrimack Valley Action Team of the Massachusetts Sierra Club is hoping to make the area greener. They're advocating for the purchase of electric buses for the Lowell Regional Transit Authority, which serves Chelmsford. They say Massachusetts is eligible for more than $75 million in funding through the Volkswagen Environment Mitigation Trust. They say that zero-emission buses save money, and that even with higher upfront purchase costs over diesel buses, electric buses can save operators on fuel and maintenance costs. And finally, the Massachusetts Senate has approved legislation regulating short-term rentals like those made through online platforms such as Airbnb. The bill would impose existing state hotel taxes on short-term rentals and allow communities to impose additional local excise taxes if they want. The Senate says their version of the bill would generate about $34 million in state taxes and $25 million in local taxes annually. The House and Senate must now hammer out a single compromise version of a bill. So if you are interested in Airbnb type things, you want to keep an eye on that. Now, thanks for watching the CTM Newsbreak, brought to you by Chelmsford Telemedia. If you have news we could use, contact us at newsbreak@chelmsfordtv.org. I'm Diane Sherritt-Steimel.